I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Now, for one Virginia veteran facing the fight of his life, a surprise gift is bringing new hope. David Lee Goss has spent his life serving others, but after a cancer diagnosis changed everything, he found himself facing an uncertain future. Now, a surprise act of kindness is helping him look ahead. Lauren Haley Morris shares his story.
It's days like these when veteran David Lee Goss feels most himself, home with his family surrounding him.
But these are my 3 children here. This is the middle one.
David served in Germany for 3 decades, finding a passion for traveling.
So this is a little bit where we go.
He moved back to the States in 2019 after leaving the military. It was 2 years later on a family vacation in Orlando,
The happiest place on earth.
where he got the news that would change his life.
I went to the nearest hospital I could find. They transferred me to another hospital. They said, yeah, it's confirmed pneumonia, but there's something else wrong. And the next day they revealed that I had leukemia.
David says not every day is easy.
I'm 57, and if they said I was 67 or 70, it wouldn't hurt so much. But I got a grandkid on the way I've never seen. I want to be there.
Which is why a gift from happiness influencer Sam Wiedenhofer couldn't have come at a better time. While on a fishing trip, Wiedenhofer's team surprised David with a GoFundMe that reeled in over $14,000 and counting. It's all a part of a fundraising campaign. 50 days, 50 states, 50 veterans. David Lee Goss was chosen for the state of Virginia.
I feel honored to be able to share his story in Virginia, and I feel honored to be able to help.
Unbelievable. I still can't believe that we are that lucky.
That's David's daughter, Christina Gott, who lives in Germany and nominated her dad for this honor.
To watch him suffering like this breaks my heart because I can do anything from Germany.
David's message to anyone going through something similar:
Don't give up every day. It was worth fighting for.
And that was Lauren Haley Morris reporting from Virginia. Sticking in Virginia here, a Virginia family is turning unimaginable loss into a life-saving gift. Loved ones and medical professionals at a hospital held an honor walk for 21-year-old Cherish Rogers, whose organ donations are saving 5 lives. Patrick Gray joined the family in those emotional moments.
What's up, y'all? Share Faith and Adrian Janelle. And I am back with another YouTube video.
After becoming a mother at just 15 years old, Cherish Faith Rogers began documenting her life on YouTube, building a following of nearly 35,000 subscribers along the way.
She was a social media influencer. She did hair, she did lashes, she baked.
That life revolved around her 2 daughters, just 5 and 1 years old. But her mother, Cassandra Hall, says on May 17th, Cherish suffered an asthma attack that led to cardiac arrest, leaving her hospitalized with severe brain damage.
She turned 21 on life support.
And just 2 days after her 21st birthday, on May 26th, she was pronounced brain dead, devastating her family. In the midst of that heartbreak, Hall made the selfless decision to donate her daughter's organs.
You know, we got the opportunity to grant someone else their dream come true.
Cherish's heart, liver, pancreas, and both kidneys are now being given to patients across the United States, saving lives. Today, inside Centera General Hospital in Virginia Beach, Cherish was remembered with an honor walk. Hospital staff lined the halls for one final goodbye, thanking her for the gift of life. Her family stood by, preparing to say their last goodbyes. For Cassandra Hall, her daughter's story does not end here.
She's not dead. She still lives on. She'll live on through those lives that she saved and through her children.
That was Patrick Gray reporting. What a great story. I've actually had the opportunity to be there when 2 families meet after an organ donation, and it's just an incredibly emotional moment for both sides of the family. Well, local churches in Iowa have come together to offer a special celebration to a group of foster kids graduating high school. Jonas Evans tells us some of their stories.
Caps, gowns, and celebrations, all very typical for a graduation.
I wanted to thank all of you for being here to offer your support and encouragement.
The graduates here don't go to school together, but they do all have one thing in common.
Even if they feel like they're on their own going forward, we want them to know that they're not, that they've got people that have been cheering for them from behind the scenes.
Sunday's celebrations are for 15 local high school graduates coming out of the foster system, like Nicole Grigoli, who's working her way towards the police force.
So I'm going to become an officer after I get my degree done and then pursue my bachelor's.
The crowd inside the center in Davenport on Sunday is a mix of foster parents, proud teachers, and even the general public.
I like being open and I like telling people my story. You know, I feel like it's like one of the best ways to get to know somebody.
Damian Chaplin joined the foster system only 2 years ago.
I like talking to them about their stories too. So if somebody's gonna ask me about mine, I have to ask about theirs.
His story is one of redemption, now in a position he didn't envision earlier in high school.
I'm gonna go to Scott Community College because they're helping me. They're gonna pay for it for the most part. And I'm gonna try to do wildlife biology. I know it's hard, but I'm gonna chase it as hard as I can.
That redemption story, one of 15 in this room.
I feel pretty motivated. I mean, like, I have a part-time job right now. It gets me the money I need and come in to pay off everything I need to pay off and then save up for whatever else I need in the future. Like, I'm pretty set.
I think it's awesome that, like, not only just me, but like a bunch of kids get like help, are getting the help they need.
A conclusive celebration, and hopefully only a pit stop. In Davenport, Jonas Evans.
Well, not many people can say they've run the distance of an ultra marathon in the 5th grade, but a class in Minnesota can. And as Boyd Hubert reports, the real accomplishment here may be the lesson they learned along the way.
With the school year racing
Good morning.
toward a close,
Come on in. Keep on going.
Becky Brudwick and her 5th grade
Morning, Joshua.
class
Morning, Cam.
are in
Good morning, August.
their
Good morning.
final lap.
Good morning, Hoover Elementary.
Last lunches,
Cheesy omelet.
last pledges,
Invisible.
last sharing
What are you doing this weekend?
in big circles.
I have a few hockey practices.
Then, at last,
Thank you.
a parting gift
Thank you.
of little circles.
Just believe.
Believing has carried them
Oh, they're coming.
here.
Ready? Begin. Very big day. Final mile.
Final mile of a 50K race in a circle around their playground.
Keep it up, boys. You got this.
Achieved 1 mile at a time for 31 straight school days.
This is the 15th. Yes. I got this.
15 years of this race
What's up, Kelsey?
grown from seeds that sprouted decades ago.
I always wanted to be a cheerleader, and I tried out for cheerleading, and I never made the cheerleading squad. And I was crying outside the chemistry teacher's room, and he came out and he said, "Why don't you go out for the track team?" I was like, there's no way I'm going to run a mile.
Becky Brudwick did more than run a mile as a member of the Blooming Prairie track team.
Did my first marathon at 23.
Her first, followed by 41 more marathons and ultra marathons. Then, having learned to believe in herself, Mrs. Brudwick began sharing that lesson with her students.
I always tell my kids it's not about becoming a runner. It's learning to take on something hard and knowing that you can do it, that you can finish it.
Case in point,
Nice job, girls.
look who finally became a cheerleader.
Keep going, you got this.
In fact, the leader of a whole squad.
It's really fun just to know that they're supporting us this whole time.
Vivi Owens and the other 5th graders are also aware of something else.
This is the last one.
This isn't just their final lap.
Yeah, you did it.
I'm just very, very grateful we got to experience the last year with her.
At the conclusion of this year's race, Mrs. Brudwick will cross the finish line to retirement.
I would say the impact that she's had on our kids' lives has been immeasurable.
Students, parents,
Oh my gosh, how are you?
and former students,
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
all changed
I run cross country and track now.
by Mrs. Brudwick
She cared about, everybody.
for the better.
Yeah, she was is my favorite teacher that I've ever had.
And she changed by then.
Give me a second.
Okay, let's check back in with Vivi,
I don't think we have a big enough Band-Aid.
now bloodied but believing.
I realize I can do it, and I don't care about this.
I'm so proud of the kids. I'm so happy that I got to be a part of that, be a part of their journey.
15 Hoover Elementary, 50 Ks.
You got this.
And we believe Mrs. Brudwick saved her best lap for last. Boy, did they.
You start something, you finish it.
Love that. Coming up, Habitat for Humanity turns the keys over to one lucky family in Texas. Why one man says he is so grateful for the hand up. And steel on steel and history on the move. Check this out, a look inside the Connecticut Trolley Museum where the past is still riding the trails. Welcome back. A family in Texas is celebrating a major milestone thanks to help from Habitat for Humanity. The organization's local chapter handed over the keys to its 23rd home build, a home earned through hundreds of hours of hard work, community support, and a commitment to building a better future for a single father with autism. Leo Gonzalez II worked for hours in the South Texas sun, building his home, but he didn't do it alone, with help arriving from near and far. Ryan Hopper has more.
My favorite room in the house is my room.
This is Mavis, Leo's daughter. She wants to be a doctor when she grows up, and if she has her dad's work ethic, I like her chances.
Leo went above and beyond. He works at McDonald's and he came, get out of work at 10 in the morning. And he came straight over here to work side by side with our board of directors that work on the building and with our caravanners that come from across the country to work on this building.
Caravanners like the Wilcoxes, who have been traveling with purpose since 2011.
When we go to a community, we build this row. We've done all of these houses. We've done the 4 or 5 houses before these that are scattered around town. And it's just how we spend our leisure time.
They say they caravan with a group of 10 other couples, and after the city of Alice donated these 4 lots to Habitat for Humanity, their services were needed.
And if you look this way, there's 3 homes that we already built. We build 1 home a year, and Leo is actually the 4th home here.
But the story doesn't end there, as the city of Alice has donated a 5th lot, this one behind me, which is right next door to Leo Gonzalez's new home. And the Wilcoxes aren't stopping.
We plan to go as long as we possibly can. I think we get more out of it than the family does. And then we get to visit them later on and see how their lives continue. And it really makes a difference for us. That's what keeps us going.
In Alice, Ryan Hopper.
All right, we're staying on track at the nonprofit Connecticut Trolley Museum and its team of volunteers. The museum staff say they remain dedicated to keeping the streetcar heritage of our state alive, as well as the national history of the trolleys. Here's Jim Altman.
Full steam ahead? Not exactly, but the atmosphere in East Windsor is electric, and it has been that way for nearly 9 decades.
There's street talk, and then there's street car talk. And this is the latter.
It's a living museum. But when you can hear that air compressor, you can hear the trucks rattle back and forth. It's something. You see the signal system operating. That's something different.
As venerable coach number 1326 rambles forward in East Windsor, it's also a time to backtrack.
So the majority of what we operate is at least 100 years old or more.
With America's 250th just down the line, the crew at the Connecticut Trolley Museum is on board. The dedicated volunteers are sharing the history here.
1,100 miles of trolley track in the state of Connecticut in 1923 and over 2,400 trolley cars.
Still a motorman with a steady hand. Larry Bryan began at the museum in 1979.
We're not only enthusiasts for the rail and trolley industry, we want to make sure that the sights and sounds are not forgotten and they can be experienced by the younger generations.
Coaches of all colors.
They could get to Hartford.
And distinctive character.
They could get to Springfield.
In the railway world, their ever-evolving collection is coveted.
Well, the streetcar we rode today is from 1910, so that's 116 years old this year. The one behind me right over here is from New Orleans from 1922. I just enjoy talking about the history to people.
Steel on steel. Heavy metal still rules the rails as they continue to keep this rolling legacy alive.
This is a huge part of America's 250, and we'd love to have you come down here and check us out.
It is the passion, it's the desire to keep things going. It's American history, it's Connecticut's history.
In East Windsor, Connecticut, Jim Altman for Featured.
All right, coming up, a powerful story of survival and strength. We introduce you to one woman who turned her breast cancer journey into art. And still ahead, a young Minnesota girl is waiting for a heart transplant. How her story is touching thousands of lives. Welcome back. A woman in Ohio is living with metastatic breast cancer. It's a diagnosis that changed her life, but not in the way you might expect. Here's Monica Robbins.
Every morning, Alice Santuri starts her day.
You think you're ready for your trip?
In nature.
Well, you got all the stuff, converters, stuff packed.
Under beautiful skies.
How blessed are we that we get to see this happen?
And turbulent ones, too.
I felt like this black cloud, and I'm like, I don't like this.
It was a storm in 2015 that Alice never saw coming.
Every year, I went for mammograms because of my family history. My grandmother on my mom's side had breast cancer.
This time, her team spotted something. A biopsy confirmed breast cancer. Alice's mind immediately went to treatment, a plan and path forward. Nothing prepared her for what came next.
I was in shock when they said, well, no, we're going to cancel your appointment for the mastectomy and the port and the chemo. We treat you so you have quality of life instead of quantity. And I just felt like, so you're just going to let me die? Like, I don't understand.
Metastatic breast cancer, stage 4, and already in her spine.
So I was very distraught. Like, I was pacing, and I didn't know what to do about it.
Shock, tears, and many questions. With help, Alice eventually realized the things she couldn't control, the diagnosis, what medicines helped, and those that didn't. She could only control what she did next.
Like, if I have a limited time, I want to be able to live it.
So she does. A daughter's wedding, her own vow renewal, trips around the world, adventures with other cancer survivors, 11 years of photos, the people and places that bring her joy.
Before cancer, I worried about everything. Oh, I'm going to be late for this. Oh, I need gas. Should I get gas now? Oh, what is going on at work? And now you don't sweat the small stuff. If you can't change it, don't worry about it.
There is no worry in this, her sacred space, filled floor to ceiling with fabric, vinyl, beads, sea glass, and projects waiting to be made.
I use art as my therapy, and it gives me, just a new lease on life almost.
The same hands that create keepsakes also care for something much more personal, a skirt, growing and changing year after year.
It reminds me of things I've done before, how far I've come, how people have progressed, or how people change even through the years. And, we might be on a drug longer, we might see people more, we might see less people. It really does tell a story of how cancer changes your life all the time.
She wears it each year at the Race for the Place on National Cancer Survivors Day, a living, changing reminder. Yes, cancer is part of Alice's story, but far from all of it.
I'm a wife, a mother, godmother, an aunt. I love to hike and bike and craft, and I have metastatic breast cancer. It's the last on my list because it's the least important. I have cancer, but it doesn't have me.
Monica Robbins.
Coming up here on Featured, a group in Arkansas is working to make sure veterans and service members are never forgotten. How one woman's dream led to a movement.
It's a fun way to get to experience the different kind of animals and different farm life.
A Georgia woman is turning her farm into a classroom, and the kids are trading in their tablets for some hands-on fun. How one farm camp is teaching kids the skills they'll need as adults. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. A military veteran in San Diego hopes his artwork will help save lives. And we want to warn you, this story discusses suicide, and it may be difficult for some viewers. Jeff Zevaley introduces us to the man behind a very special piece of art.
The twists and turns of life have been both beautiful and haunting for Joe Paisano. When you see his artwork, it's clear the retired Navy chief loves his country.
Our service members put on a uniform with a one-way ticket.
Joe works with drywall screws, and with each one, he hopes to save a veteran's life, including his own.
Mental health, suicide ideations, the struggle is what I call it, is every day.
For veterans struggling with PTSD, Joe wants to start a conversation.
We talk about all these programs and how much money we need to help our veterans. Having a conversation is free. Giving a hug is free, and that's where we got to start.
Joe's start in life was challenging too. As a baby, he was abandoned at an orphanage in the Philippines.
My adopted parents got stationed in the Philippines. My full name is Joseph Angelo Paisano, so I have more marinara sauce in my blood than rice in my belly. I'm proud of it.
In 2018, Joe wanted to paint an American flag, but fell in love with the way 3D screw art made the flag appear to wave.
That's it, that's what I wanted. So people that come in and see my work see that movement.
This is one of 4 panels.
Yes.
And when you put them all together, how tall will she be?
She'll be about 20 feet tall, over 80,000 drywall screws.
Lady Liberty will be on display at the fair's America's 250 exhibit.
Joe plans on being at the fair every day it's open, and he hopes you come by because tucked underneath Lady Liberty's left arm will be a time capsule where you can leave a letter.
50 years from now, the tablet will be opened on America's 300th birthday.
So everyone's invited to actually write a letter.
Helping Joe with Lady Liberty is retired Navy Corpsman Robert Lemos.
He's all heart.
Robert got involved because Joe's artwork moved him.
I call it the onion effect because it's just layered with so much significance. It's not just a symbolism, but it draws both military and civilians just the same.
Although Joe's art is award-winning, victory for him simply means another day.
You give me 100, 1,000 awards, but the fact that if I save a veteran, if I save a life, it's all worth it. I'd rather have the one life saved than 1,000 ribbons.
That was Jeff Zevaley reporting from San Diego. The Quilts of Valor is a national organization that honors veterans and service members. The founder, whose son was deployed in Iraq, says she dreamed of a struggling soldier finding comfort and healing after being wrapped up in a quilt. Now, that inspired a mission that now reaches veterans across the country. And Morgan Wrigley introduces us to the people bringing that mission to life in Arkansas.
The sound of sewing machines and good conversation fills the room when the River Valley Stars Quilts of Valor group gets to work.
Sell my fabrics, mostly red, white, and blue.
This chapter started with Donna Hardin and her niece, Sue Anderson.
I was watching a PBS show, and they had on this segment about Quilts of Valor. And I said, Donna, I know what we can do. And she said, what? I said, Quilts of Valor. They make quilts for veterans. Donna said, well, how many does it take to start a group? And I said, 2. And she said, sign us up.
Now, 40 members strong. For each of these seamstresses, it's a personal mission.
Everybody's got a veteran in their family, just about.
For the veterans who receive them, like Nathan Roth and Mary Garman, it's more than a quilt.
I was presented this quilt by surprise by Donna and her ladies.
Always has your branch of service on it, and sometimes they put the years that you enlisted in the years you were served.
No two quilts are the same, much like the stories they represent.
I joined the military for education. I was a single mother, and I got my nursing degree, and I worked in a evac hospital. And I got the call to go to Iraq. And I can remember going home and I collapsed in my floor and I said, I can't do this, Lord. And that still small voice said, I'll go with you. Freedom is not free. People pay heavy prices for it.
For Garman, the quilt brings comfort.
Knowing that somebody really cares and takes the time to make a token of their appreciation and to say, you know what, you matter.
For others, like Roth, it represents something they never received.
And welcome home.
Thank you. I felt seen or recognized, finally. It erased some of the ugliness that I'd seen. Hard, nasty things that were said and done to me, in part. You know, enough to where I can, okay, I'm invincible now, I can wrap it around me.
The gratitude goes both ways.
These ladies are the ones who got needle pricks in their fingertips and thimbles and material all over the place. Yes, they're magicians.
They all contribute something.
We've given like 157 quilts for the last couple of years. On pace to do that again this year. It really is gratifying to us to do what we're doing.
That was Morgan Wrigley reporting from Arkansas. One garage sale in Minnesota is about much more than just finding a good deal. Megan McPherson shares the story behind the fundraiser and the little girl at the center of it all. Take a look.
Garage sale signs.
What'd you find there? Good stuff?
Yeah. Seem to pop up on every corner of the Twin Cities.
We have all kinds of housewares, anything you need. Doilies, towels, growlers.
Drawing people in with the promise of hidden treasures.
Bullets for a good cause. Love it.
At this Centerville home, a smiling little girl.
That picture was taken on Evelyn's first day of kindergarten, so it's very special.
Her sweet face, now a symbol of hope.
We take every day as a gift at this point.
6-year-old Evelyn Otto has found herself in the battle of her life, a battle that began before birth.
So she was born with a heart defect, which kind of spiraled into 10 heart surgeries.
Her latest surgery just last month, adding to years of hospital stays, countless procedures, and even a cardiac arrest.
This girl has a will to live.
Evelyn is now listed as status 1A, the highest priority for a heart transplant.
She needs a heart transplant, and that's what's going to keep her going at this point.
Amidst her fight, childhood milestones stripped away.
She missed her whole kindergarten year, so it's not something that she's going to get back.
We have kids' items for babies.
But her family will tell you, each setback,
I'm very proud of her and what she's done,
is no match for Evelyn's strength and spunk.
Oh yeah.
Organized with help from the Children's Organ Transplant Association,
Close.
this garage sale will help Evelyn and her family navigate the long road ahead.
Transplant-related expenses, the medications alone, hundreds of thousands of dollars through her lifetime.
Every donated item and dollar raised.
So this is the table of things you didn't know you needed.
All for their little girl's second chance at life.
We are hoping that Evelyn gets her perfect heart soon.
Megan McPherson.
She's a very special person, and she is the light of my life.
One Georgia woman is trading tablets for tractors. I like the way this one is going already. She's turning her farm into a classroom. Cynthia Fitch opened up a farm camp, giving kids a chance to get outside, get their hands dirty, and learn skills they won't find on any screen. Madison Ricks shares her story.
Years old was probably the first time I ever rode a horse. How old are you? 6. What?
Turns out history has a way of repeating itself in the best possible way, starting with Cynthia Finch's own summer camp experience.
Sculpting farm animals and petting and riding, and the experience was something I can't explain.
So when neighborhood kids started showing up at her fence, Fitch figured, why not open the gate?
We mucked out stalls and we provided our own fertilizer. So a lot of people think you have to go to the store, but if you have livestock, you already have your own fertilizer right before you. I'm just teaching them to be resilient, overcome hard things.
Swap the screen time for some soil, and the classroom doesn't get much better than this.
It's a fun way to get to experience the different kind of animals and different farm life.
Fitch says in a world where everything is at their fingertips, she wants kids to use their hands for something other than schooling.
I feel like one day when they get older, they might run into a situation where mommy and daddy aren't there and those tablets aren't there, and they're gonna have to learn how to work with their hands, and I wanna give them a head start.
And it doesn't take long for even the most skeptical campers to find their footing.
By the end of the week, there's no, I'm stress-free by the end of the week because they know the routine. I'm relaxing, they aren't complaining.
Fitch says the lesson is simple. Life is bigger than any screen. Kids just have to look up long enough to see it. Reporting in Dublin, Madison Ricks.
Fitch says the camp started as a spring break test run, and the kids loved it so much, she decided to keep it going all summer. I love that. They need to be away from the screens every now and then. All right, Handbags, giving hope to survivors of abuse. We'll tell you about one Texas nonprofit's mission. And still ahead, some fish in an Arizona lake are living to be more than 100 years old, and no one knows why. The hunt for the secret behind their longevity. One Texas nonprofit is helping victims of abuse carry their burdens a little easier. The organization's 2026 Handbags and Backpacks for Hope campaign is now underway. It is collecting new purses, totes, and backpacks. Jessica Cha spoke with the organizers about what they say this campaign accomplishes.
A handbag or a backpack usually carries what you need for the day.
We're all carrying it. It's so normal. It's a part of our every single day. But when you're in escaping an abusive relationship, you don't have time to grab everything.
But Heather Bellino with the Texas Advocacy Project says grabbing your purse might be the last thing on your mind in a crisis, which she says many Texans experience when they're victims of some kind of abuse.
That means in every room you walk in, there's somebody facing harm and you don't even know it.
So nearly a decade ago, Bellino says TAP created the Handbags for Hope campaign to help survivors.
These are just the backpacks, a handbag. This is what we're hoping that we can get donated from the community.
Here's how it works. Once TAP collects the donated bags, staff will slip a discrete QR code into each one, and then that'll help connect people to free social and legal services. And then once the bags are ready, they'll be distributed to the shelters that they partner with. TAP says they're trying to get to about 5,000 donated bags to give to survivors in need.
Bellino says this month's campaign is all about helping survivors shoulder some of the burden while also getting help.
Being able to provide these handbags and these backpacks and these diaper bags and allowing people to have just some sort of normalcy within their lives as they're escaping abusive relationships is so incredibly important.
So for many, a handbag may carry things to help you get through the day, but for others, it may also carry a lifeline to hope. In Austin, Jessica Cha.
In Arizona, a lake is hiding a mystery beneath the surface. So scientists there say some of the fish living there could be more than 100 years old, older than most of us will ever live. The big question is, how are they doing it? Kyle Simchuk tagged along with catch and release anglers and a researcher from Minnesota who are trying to unlock the secret. Take a look.
Apache Lake, a remote reservoir carved into the Superstition Mountains, holds something extraordinary. Something that could rewrite what we know about aging, longevity, and the resilience of life itself. Swimming in these waters are some of the oldest living vertebrates on the planet. They've survived world wars, the Great Depression, the Atomic Age, and the dawn of the internet. They are buffalo fish, and many of them are over 100 years old.
And previously they were only thought to live like 10 to 20 years, but now we know they can live well over 100. They're just fascinating.
Dr. Alec Lackman is a research professional at the University of Minnesota Duluth. His groundbreaking work on buffalo fish, which are native to North America but not Arizona, stunned the scientific community and fishermen alike.
They accrue these spots, these black and orange spots, with age. And then later we also ended up finding that they're one of the longest lived freshwater fish species in the world.
But Dr. Lackman's research in Minnesota was just the beginning. In 2021, he received an email that would lead him to Arizona and Apache Lake.
Rub the belly, pat her on the side.
Stuart Black is what you might call a citizen scientist, an angler with a passion for buffalo fish and a network of dedicated friends who share his obsession.
But buffalo fish, never really been on the angling radar here in Arizona. We've been catching the buffalo fish here for probably 3 or 4 years. And then I read Alec's amazing groundbreaking study in 2021. He mentioned about these specific markings and spottings on these really, really ancient old fish. And I thought, we've got the same markings on our fish. Literally within an hour of the email being sent, we had plans for a research project out here.
To confirm their exact age, Lackman needed to look at their otoliths, or ear stones, which are responsible for the fish's sense of balance and spatial orientation.
It's just like aging a tree, where you count the growth rings. Fish are cold-blooded, so every cold season they go through, their metabolism slows way down, and it leaves a mark in that structure.
But studying their otoliths and proving their true age came at a cost.
We hate killing fish, right? We like to catch them for fun, put them back, and hopefully catch them when they get bigger.
23 Apache Lake buffalo fish were sacrificed for science that year. Their otoliths were removed and studied, and the fish, well, they were fried up.
And little did we know that we were actually eating 100-year-old fish. And I gotta say, you would never know. They were amazing.
The results of the study were also amazing. More than 90% of the buffalo fish caught and studied were over 80 years old. The oldest found in Apache Lake was a 108-year-old black buffalo fish.
I feel like my anglers are the buffalo soldiers here. We are here to protect the buffalo fish. The original 420 that were in Roosevelt, there's some still alive today, like Buffalo Gill. From the 30s, we had commercial fishermen fishing Roosevelt Lake and Saguaro and Canyon to a little bit, but not so much Apache. The Apache Trail, it made fishing and accessing Apache difficult. So it's kind of like a little Jurassic Park here, I like to call it. It's forgotten, it's enclosed, it's remote.
Since that first sampling in 2021, Stewart and his fellow anglers have shifted to entirely non-lethal research. They catch the fish, photograph their unique markings, take a clip of their fin and samples of their protective slime, then release them, building a database of individual fish they can track over time.
We have one fish, his name is Bond, and he's been caught 6 times, and he's still swimming out here right now. We might catch him tomorrow, and it'll be the 7th time.
They aren't just living long lives, they're thriving in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew about aging.
These fish are still advancing into prime condition. They're getting better with age as they're approaching 100 years old. Relative to those younger, like 20 to 30-year-old fish, a 100-year-old bigmouth buffalo is more healthy than those younger ones.
They may provide secrets to greater skin care. They may have, who knows, the secrets to fighting cancer. And that's why I call this project $1 Trillion Slime. We don't know what we can pull out of this project.
Stewart and his team, who call themselves the Buffalo Soldiers, are now fighting to protect these fish, but it's complicated. Currently, there are no special protections for buffalo fish in Arizona, and they can be taken in unlimited numbers.
What I would like to see is this lake be given a world status, an opportunity to be a preserve for the century fish.
From Apache Lake, Kyle Simchuk.
My grandmother used to fry up buffalo fish sometimes. She also liked catfish. I had no idea what they looked like, knew nothing about them until just now. Awesome story from Kyle. All right, he's still ahead at 91 years old. He is still leading one of DC's longest running community choirs. Meet the man who is shaping lives through music. Welcome back. One of DC's longest running community choirs is preparing for a milestone performance. At the helm is a man who has made a positive impact on countless lives. Sean Martinelli shows us how.
You are.
Some choirs do more than sing, they transcend. Such is the case with this choir, which is maybe why in DC few have been around longer.
A lot of good gospel music in churches have disappeared. The hymn books have been folded and put away.
Not here, not at the Jubilee Majestic Choir, and not without him. What's kept you doing this so long?
Nothing but the grace of God. Nothing but the grace of God.
That's Dr. Cordell Minor, still directing at 90. It's what he's done every year since he started the Majestics 70 years ago.
And I know the Majestics is the world to him.
He demands excellence.
So he does not tolerate chewing gum.
But he's about business when it comes to the music.
He does not tolerate us looking over to the side while he's directing.
The result has been 7 decades of excellence. The Majestics performed for the opening of DC's Convention Center, for holidays, and for their signature annual gospel festival. That's what they're preparing for now as we approach the event's platinum anniversary.
I've been flying in every weekend for the rehearsals because I'm excited about it.
It took a lot for me to be here for the 70th, but I didn't come not only to celebrate God, I came to celebrate him for what he has done.
Because for so many here, Dr. Minor not only directed this choir, he helped guide the direction of their lives. What's the choir meant to you, the Majestics?
Everything. I joined as a boy. Now I'm a man.
Some could put his impact into words.
Other than the Lord, he's meant everything.
I really don't know where I would be if it wasn't for Dr. Minor.
He touched people through his music. That was his gift.
For others, like Greg Duckett, words just wouldn't do. And for the man who made this all possible.
I don't have a family. The choir's my family. It gives me life.
After 70 years, still singing, still transcending.
What a wonderful thing.
And that was Sean Martinelli reporting from Washington, D.C. It is so beautiful to see that tradition carrying on in that community. And I know that all of those folks involved in the choir feel like family. It's just something that brings them closer together every week. Alrighty, that is it for this episode of Featured. Until next time, make it a great one.